At daybreak, the aurora emerged as a subtle invitation to the unknown, while I, Therion, walked along the edge of an enchanted forest. The morning chill, mingled with dew shimmering on every leaf, seemed to whisper promises of ancient secrets and a destiny that would unfold with every step. Still scarred by the horrors and battles of recent confrontations, I felt an irresistible pull away from that place of anguish. Then, as I passed through a clearing where the mist danced to the rhythm of the wind, a sound, almost imperceptible yet laden with meaning, echoed among the pines. "Come, Therion." The voice seemed to emanate from some hidden corner of nature, as if the very spirits of the forest had united to call me. My heart quickened, and the sensation of a new destiny, teeming with challenges and revelations, overwhelmed my senses. I knew that this call was not mere chance. It was the prelude to a journey that would transform my life forever. Still haunted by the image of the spectral nights and the horrors of Eredhall, I took my first steps into the unknown. I wasn't alone. Beside me, Cairo, whose steadfast, enigmatic presence had become indispensable since our last encounter, walked with me, his gaze blending determination with a silence brimming with secrets. As we made our way along paths winding between towering, ancient trees, the scenery transformed with each step. The enchanted forest exuded a mystical atmosphere. Soft, diffused lights filtered through the dense canopy, casting moving shadows that resembled carefully orchestrated choreographies. Cairo, with his deep, measured voice, explained that the long legendary Lost Temple would be our next destination. According to him, this sanctuary, hidden deep within the forest, harbored ancient rituals that would enable the heir of the Black Flame not only to master his power but also to transcend mortal limitations. Therion, this temple is not merely a place, it is a portal to the hidden truth of our lineage. As he spoke, my eyes were drawn to symbols etched into the trees, like inscriptions left behind by ancient guardians. Each mark pulsed with its own energy, affirming that our journey was immersed in a past as vivid and alive as the present. We walked for hours, accompanied by the distant sound of a stream and the gentle murmur of the breeze, a subtle symphony that cradled our thoughts. During our journey, Cairo recounted tales from time immemorial, of heroes who defied the limits of mortality, of rituals performed under the light of shooting stars, and of sacrifices that sealed pacts with the forces of nature. As I listened, I found myself torn between skepticism and hope. A part of me resisted the notion that such a grand destiny could rest on my shoulders. After all, I had always been an anti-hero, marked by rebellion and an aversion to responsibility. Yet every word from Cairo and every symbol we encountered reaffirmed that there was something far greater waiting to be uncovered.
Quick tip to level up your experience. Read Manhwas and light novels for free. Listen to epic audiobooks. Watch unlimited anime. Play cloud games with no console. And stream the best anime soundtracks. Check the description now and grab your free trials.
At daybreak, the trail grew increasingly rugged, and the landscape transformed into a mosaic of natural ruins and hidden marvels. Amid a forest where nature itself seemed to bow in reverence, I spotted, in the distance, a formation that stood out from the rest of the vegetation, an ancient stone archway, half hidden by climbing ivy and moss. Its weathered surface bore mysterious carvings, as if it were a remnant of a lost civilization, silently guarding secrets of the ages. An ancient structure carved into the rock, draped in moss and entwined with roots that appeared to embrace every crevice. "There's the Lost Temple," announced Cairo, his eyes gleaming with satisfaction as he pointed toward the imposing edifice that rose like a relic of time. The temple, partially swallowed by vegetation, exuded an aura of mystery. Its gates, adorned with arcane symbols, beckoned those bold enough to enter its domain. Every detail, from the weathered sculptures to the stone panels recounting tales of bygone eras, spoke of the grandeur and importance this sanctuary held for the ancient heirs of the Black Flame. Upon entering the temple, I was immediately enveloped by a different atmosphere. The air was dense, imbued with the scent of incense and the faint strains of a distant chant echoing from within the walls. Light filtered through narrow crevices, casting dancing shadows upon the stone floor, as if every step unveiled hidden secrets. Cairo and I moved cautiously, each step measured as we explored corridors and halls that seemed forgotten by time. In one of the larger chambers, I encountered murals that chronicled the history of the first bearers of the Black Flame, depicting epic battles, sacred rituals, and moments where the boundary between the divine and the human blurred. A wave of reverence washed over me, and for the first time, I realized that the power I carried was not merely a curse, but a sacred responsibility. I, who had always been seen as an anti-hero, was beginning to understand that true ascension required not only strength, but also the wisdom and humility to learn from the ancients. While exploring a side chamber, I discovered a smaller altar where a collection of artifacts appeared to hold the essence of ascension rituals. Among them was a finely crafted bronze medallion, its inscriptions shimmering in the soft light. As I touched it, a surge of energy coursed through my body, as if the object held the key to unlocking part of the Black Flame's mystery. "This is the symbol of legacy," Cairo murmured, his eyes fixed intently on the medallion. "They say that whoever deciphers its enigma will unlock the door to true ascension." Those words resonated within me as I tried to unravel the meaning of the object, fully aware that each clue hidden in its intricate design was a part of an ancient puzzle meant to guide me toward my transformation. The calm that had enveloped the temple began to wane as a distant sound, growing ever more intense, shattered the silence. The murmur of approaching footsteps, the snap of twigs, and a metallic echo announced the arrival of an unexpected threat. "Enemies!" Cairo exclaimed, his eyes widening and his voice tense. I felt adrenaline surge through my veins as I cast one final glance at the temple's intricate halls. It wasn't the spectral knights this time, but rather a new faction, beings who melded ancient rituals with lost technologies, determined to seize the power contained within these walls and wield it for nefarious purposes. Without wasting time, Cairo and I readied ourselves for the confrontation. The atmosphere, once imbued with mysticism and discovery, now pulsed with the tension of an impending battle. The leader of these invaders, a man with a cold, piercing gaze and a determined expression, emerged from the shadows. His armor combined rustic elements with futuristic details, embodying the collision of eras that now converged in this very space. "Therion," he bellowed, his voice resonating throughout the hall, "do you dare defy fate and meddle in secrets that should never be revealed?" Each word cut through the air like a razor-sharp blade, and a hush of anticipation fell over the room. I could feel the black flame pulsating in my hands, its energy poised to be unleashed. In a cry of despair and determination, I unleashed an explosion of dark energy. The power emanating from within me surged forth like a torrent, forming a blazing barrier that hurled the leader backward. The impact was colossal. The sound of shattering debris, splitting metal, and muffled enemy cries merged into a cacophony that seemed to stretch into eternity. Every beat of my heart became a measure in the symphony of battle, where the struggle between light and shadow, between ancestral heritage and my deepest fears, played out with unyielding intensity. I sensed that this moment transcended a mere physical clash. It was the definitive test of my ability to harness the power within me and to conquer the ghosts of my past. When the storm of energy finally subsided, the temple was shrouded in an almost sacred silence, punctuated only by the distant splashes of water and the soft murmur of the wind. The main hall, the site of our fierce confrontation, bore deep scars and fissures that testified to the intensity of our clash. I was exhausted. Every muscle throbbed with the memory of the battle, and my hands, still warm with the lingering heat of the black flame, bore witness to the burden I now carried. Cairo approached with a serious, concerned expression, placing a comforting hand on my shoulder, while the guardian watched us with eyes filled with a timeless compassion. "Every battle, no matter how painful, reveals a fragment of truth," she murmured softly. "But the secrets that emerge here pave the way for even greater challenges. The price of truth is steep, and the journey to master it will demand sacrifices you could never imagine." Her words pierced my very being as I surveyed the remnants of our battle, the scars carved into the stone walls, the echo of muffled cries, and the residual energy that seemed to drift in the air. The burden of wielding the black flame pulsed powerfully in my chest, a fusion of fear and unwavering determination to move forward, even as uncertainties unfurled on the horizon. With the sun finally rising on the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange and gold, I sat down, exhausted, in a quiet corner of the lost temple. The freshness of the morning blended with the residual warmth of the dark energy still pulsating in my hands, and the gentle song of the birds slowly emerged, as if nature itself were celebrating the peace that had settled after the storm. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, allowing each inhalation to reconnect me with the essence of that sacred place. In the silence of the new day, the guardian's words echoed like a mantra. The past always speaks, and the future is sculpted by the choices we dare to make. As the temple began to be illuminated by the growing light of dawn, each stone and every symbol carved on the walls told the story of the ancients, of the heroes who fought to preserve the legacy of the Black Flame and of the sacrifices that made the rise of those who dared to challenge destiny. I felt a profound mixture of pain and hope coursing through my being. The certainty that, despite the challenges and the invisible enemies lurking in the shadows, every step forward would bring me closer to the truth about my origin and the complete mastery of that ancestral power. Rising with difficulty, I slowly walked along the temple corridors, absorbing every detail. The distant echo of footsteps, the subtle murmur of wind slipping through the cracks, and the soft light bathing the forgotten altars. It felt as if history itself was unfolding before me, inviting me to delve into the mysteries kept there. Moving forward, the weight of the past and the promise of the future intertwined with every breath. The black flame continued to burn intensely in my hands, a beacon of power and mystery that illuminated the path ahead, albeit subtly. Without hesitation, I advanced toward what appeared to be the heart of the Lost Temple, the place where ancient ascension rituals were performed and where the secrets of the legacy could finally be unveiled. I knew that the path ahead would be filled with challenges, both physical and spiritual, but at that moment, the determination that resided in my heart was greater than any fear. I, Therion, was ready to face not only the enemies lurking in the shadows, but also the ghosts dwelling in the deepest recesses of my own soul. As the first rays of the sun outlined an uncertain horizon and promised a new dawn, I pressed on, each step marked by the hope and fear that define those who dare to transcend the limits of the possible. The journey toward ascension had begun, and the call of the Lost Temple was the harbinger of a destiny that would be revealed at the intersection of the past, present, and future. A destiny I was determined to conquer, no matter the cost.
Did you enjoy the video? Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us know which stories you love most and which ones we should prioritize in future productions. Your support is essential for us to keep bringing you the best manhwa content every day. See you in the next episode.